Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today, I don't have really anything so much for fishing as I do more for shooting your videos. Now, obviously, I use my cell phone. I mean, you guys can tell by how shaky it is and how it sounds and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean I don't have the equipment to shoot video. This is a T6i, which can do some pretty decent video. It's got a pretty good bang for the buck for the video. I haven't used it yet, only because I had to have to set it up, and I'm actually just really lazy. But with that said, there are some lenses I use, and I wanted to pass this information on for those who are going to use a DSLR for their video shooting. One of the lens companies I use is called Yongnuo. Now, what's great about these guys is this is the 35mm. I also have the 50mm here. That's this one. As you can see, Yongnuo 50. I actually am getting ready to pick up either the 85 or the 100 as well. They're all fixed focal length lenses. These are for the Canon. They make them for other ones as well. But what's nice is if you're looking to use like a nifty 50 lens, which would be this one actually over here, this is the cheap version of it. When I tell you it's cheap, I mean it is dirt cheap. These lenses are like, oh my God, I'm going to have to look them up. Less than $100. They're less than $100 for each of the lenses. Now, if you buy lenses, you know lenses are expensive. I have an expensive lens sitting in my lens box that I use only for shooting outdoor sports. But with that said, you really don't need it if you're shooting videos for fishing. You can get away with these. This is, as you can see, it's a 1.8, I want to say. 35mm 1.8. I think that's what it is. Let me look here. The Yongnuo is making me look 35mm. I still think it's a 1.8. It's not a 1.4, but it is definitely a 1.8, which means that it lets a lot of light through, which is very nice. If you shoot like with, if I move these two out of the way here a little bit, another cheap lens I'm going to show you here is the Quantaray. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'll show you the name here. I think it's pronounced Quantaray. Now this lens I've had forever. It is a tank. When I say it's a tank, I mean it is a tank. It shoots 75 to 300. It is also a macro lens, as you can see here. What's nice about it is, like I said, it's a tank. It's an autofocus. It shoots 4 to 5.6, so it's not all that great. But outdoors, daylight, this is a killer lens. You can add it's got your hood. It's reversed. I have the hood reversed just for storage. But this lens here is less than $100. I mean, it's a great lens for the money. For shooting video, it does actually a really good job. So if you're sitting up stationary, filming, you fishing, this is another cheap lens. So all these lenses here are under $100. The two Yongnuos and the Quantaray are a great lens for the money. Like I said, I got a 35, I got the 50. I'll have the 85 or the 100 soon. I'm not sure which one I'm getting. I got one of them coming here. I got to shoot some pictures from my daughter's 8th grade dance. So I'm picking it out. I don't know which one I'm going to get. It really, what's going to depend on is when it comes down to when I have the funds and when I pick it up, what I'm willing to spend on it. So that will really tell you. But like I said, the Nifty 50, one of my favorite lenses. This lens, I shoot basketball with it. I sit really close to the court, and I'm able to get some really nice basketball with it. It takes really nice portraits. The bokeh on it's really good. So I'm telling you, when it's really crisp and clear, for the money, this plastic lens is awesome. Look up reviews for it on YouTube if you want to see how it shoots. It does a pretty good job. These lenses are very good. They're also getting ready to make a what's the next lens they said they were going to make? I think it's 24 or a 14. So they're going to make a 24 or a 14 and a 1.4 or a 0.9 or something. It's going to be some astronomical number, but maybe a little bit more expensive than these, but still great lenses nonetheless. So if you're looking to use your DSLR and you're looking for some cheap lenses, the Yongnuo is a good one. The Quantaray is another one if you need longer focal length than the 75 to 300 range. I have the Canon lens on here. It's the same length, I think. This Canon, I don't think it's as good. And this is another $100 lens, actually, believe it or not. This is a cheap Canon lens. It's the 75 to 300 as well. but for shooting video, it'd be fine as well. It takes decent pictures when it has a lot of light. The difference between cheap lenses and expensive lenses is how much light they let in. More expensive lenses are going to allow you to have more light coming in and out of them. Instead of being a 4-point, I think this is a 4-point. Let's see, this one's a 4, the same thing. It's probably a 4.0 to 4.0 to 5.6, probably the same as a Quantaray. So it really does not let a lot of light in. So you need those sunny days. You know, you need your semi-overcast days to really get really nice pictures out of it. But like I said, for shooting video, you take these, you add on an ND filter setup with it. So if it's too bright, you put a filter on, and I'm telling you, it takes really nice videos and pictures. And they're very easy to use, and they're very cheap. Like I said, $100. Definitely $100 on Amazon. You can pick these up dirt cheap. You can probably pick them up cheap or used. I know they make them for Nikon as well. I even had one for I got one from somebody for a Vivitar, I think. I thought it was, they gave me the lens thinking it was for my Canon, but I got home, I'm like, oop, nope, different mount. Didn't work. And it's a great lens to use. So if you're looking to start out and you don't want to use a cell phone and you're looking to use a DSLR, if you get even a T3i, I think, in the Canon here, it'll take all these lenses here and it'll work. So as long as it takes the same mount setup as this, as the the T5i, the T4i, the 7 even, I think it all takes the same. It'll work good. I mean, as long as it shoots video and it uses the same mount, I think from the Rebel T1 even, I think, on up. I don't know where they started when they started shooting video, but one of the Rebels started it. So it was either the T2 or the T3, but the T3 I know shoots video, and all these lenses will work on. So you can get into shooting video with a decent camera and some accessory lenses, the Yongnuos, the Quantaray, even the cheap Canon lens for $100 per lens. So you can get into shooting it for dirt cheap. Let me know what you think. If you're shooting videos, let me know what you think of these lenses. Like I said, I use them. They're my daily drivers for the last few years, and I haven't beat them up and broke them yet. So, and they're plastic. I'm not kidding. This is a plastic lens, but it works good. You know, I switch between it. I'm like walking around. This is my walk around lens when I'm like, if I'm like at Disneyland or something and I'm shooting just, you know, pictures of walking around, this is it. If I'm at a, you know, a car show or something, I use the 35 or even the 50. I just crank them up to, you know, 2.5, 2.8. And I do it that way for the wider focus. Unless I'm shooting something up close, and I bring it back down to that 1.8, and it will shoot an awesome portrait as well. So check them out. Yongnuo, Quantaray. Let me show you the lens name again here. One more time. And dirt cheap lenses. That's all this is about. Dirt cheap lenses on a cheap camera for shooting better video. If you don't want to do like I do and shoot with your cell phone, break it down and start using your DSLR. And there you go.